ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासा ततो जयमुदीरय। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो नलिननेत्राय वेणुवाद्यविनोदिने राधाधर सुधापान शालिने वनमालिने महाभावस्वरूपास्त्वं कृष्णप्रियवरीयसी प्रेमभक्ति प्रदे देवी श्रीराधिका त्वं नमोऽस्तुते। सकलमण्डलाकारव्याप्तेन तत्पाददर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So today we will discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, and text number 7 to 14. So on coming Wednesday, we are celebrating appearance of Lord Narasimha. So in the praise of their Lordship and their glories, we will discuss from the prayers that has been offered by Bhakta Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj. As he eternally resides in the Jambudvipa, one of the Varshas called as a Hari Varsha. And there, with his associates, he always offers wonderful prayers to their Lordship, Lord Narasimha. In the text 7, Shukadeva Goswami, he is explaining how Maharaj Prahlad, here he called him as Daitya Danava Kula Tirtha. Tirtha means the place or the person who can purify. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani swanta stena gadabhrata. Who carries their Lordship in their heart, they are called as a Tirtha. So here he calls Prahlad Maharaj as a Daitya Danava Kula Tirtha. He says, Harivarshe chapi bhagwan narahari rupena aste. In the Harivarsha, Lord resides there in the form of Narahari, Narasimha. Tadrupa grahana nimitta uttaratra vidhyasya. And there, his wonderful pastimes and his form has nicely described by Prahlad Maharaj. Taddiyatam rupam mahapurusha guna bhajano mahabhagavato daityadhanava kunatirtha karana shila charitaha prahlado avadhyana dhanya bhakti yogena सह तदवर्ष पुरुषै रूपास्ते idam chodaharti. He says, my dear king, Lord Narsimhadev resides in the tract of land known as a Harivarsha. In the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I shall describe to you how Prahlad Maharaj caused the Lord to assume the form of Narsimhadev. Prahlad Maharaj, the topmost devotee of the Lord, is reservoir of all the good qualities of a great personalities. His character and activities have delivered all the fallen members of his demoniac family. Lord Narsimhadev is very dear to this exalted personality. Thus Prahlad Maharaj, along with the servants and all the denizens of Harivarsha, worship Lord Narsimhadev by chanting the following mantras. So the first mantra itself, where Prahlad Maharaj is seeking protection from their Lordship. And it's one of the very wonderful mantra. Generally, devotee, what they ask from the Lord, you can find it out here. They are not asking for any material opulences. But they ask, let me save from having material desires. What is this? Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Jasate Avirbhava Vajranaka Vajradranshta Karmashayam Randhaya Tamo Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhusha Om Shram. He says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narsimhadev, the source of all powers. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like a thunderbolt, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Whether you accept or not, everyone is struggling in this material world. No one can say that I'm really peaceful. Peaceful, only that person is who is practicing Krishna consciousness. As in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, all the karmi, yogis, jnanis, all they are ashanta. Krishna bhakta nishkama atayeva shant. Who is peaceful? Who does not have any worldly material desires. And as he says here, that please vanquish our demon-like desires for a fruity activity in the material world. So in this material world, whoever has taken a birth, he has to work according to the qualities that he has born with. Sahaja pravritti. So the person who has born with the quality of a goodness, he has also performed activities in this world. As Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, that nobody can live without performing any activity in this world. Whether it is a sannyasi, he says even a sannyasi, he has to light a fire to cook. Then what to speak of being a grahasthas, entangled with the different responsibilities, socially, families, then all these responsibilities you need to fulfill. And to fulfill all that responsibilities, you have to perform certain activities. And most of the time, if those activities are based on the bodily concept of life, then they entangle you. in this material world. And that's why he says, "Oh my Lord, make us fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world." See, everyone has fear in their heart. And many times we have discussed different kinds of fears that everyone undergoes. But he says, Abhayam, Abhayam Atmani Bhuyashtavam. Oh my Lord, it's you who can offer us this fearlessness. And actually, what is that really gives us a fearlessness? All the great devotees, they have same opinion. If someone takes shelter at the lotus feet of a Lord, then definitely he becomes fearless, because that's the quality of the Lordship which can give you a fearlessness. In the fourth canto, 22nd chapter, text number 39, Sanat Kumar, when he comes to visit Prithu Maharaj, see, it's a very rare chance to see Sanat Kumar. From childhood, they took that particular form only, and they asked their Lordship, please keep us in this particular form, so that they should not, like 5 years old kid, what material desire he can have, or what material desire that his senses can seek for. So he says that just keep us in this particular form only, so that we will not get bothered by our senses and their desires and their hankerings. So who are so detached, they came to the kingdom of Prithu Maharaj. Can you imagine? The people who is totally detached from the worldly things, they came to meet whom? Prithu Maharaj, a king who is representation of mode of passion. They came to meet him. It's not that they call him to their ashram, because they does not have ashram at all. They keep traveling, so they don't have ashram. Nowhere mentioned actually about their ashram, that they have the ashram and they no. Even though there's a first rishis, but they keep moving. So they came to visit whom? Prithu Maharaj. Why they chose to meet him? Not only devotee, he is a great devotee. They themselves says, Asateva Rajan Bhavato Madhudvishe Padarvindasya Gunanuvadani. Ratir Durapo Vidunoti Naishtiki Kamam Kashayam Amalantara. There are so many people who are devotees, but you are the one, Asateva Rajan, you are the one. Why? Because Bhavato Madhudvishe. You are so attached to that Madhudvisha, Padarvindasya Gunanuvadani. You are attached to discuss about him. You are so keen and interested to hear about him. And that's why we came to you actually. And then they further says, Yat pada pankaja balasha vilasa bhaktya karmashayam gratitam udgrahayanti santaha tadvandarikta matayo yato piruddha Srota ganastam varanam bhajava sudevam. They say, devotee is always engaged in the service of the toes of the Lord's lotus feet, can very easily become free from the hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. Karma shreyam gratitham. Granthi. Granthi means God, the knot. So that's the knot that we have in our heart, so tightly tied, it can't break. But who can get rid of that? The people who are engaged in the service of the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis, the yogis cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. And we have a great example, Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra Rishi, one of the great sages, He is one of the rishis for Vedic mantras. So that person who was a great yogi, who performed austerities like a 60,000 years, but thrice he fall down from that. They try hard to control their senses, but what happens? But he never gave up. He continued. And what result he got it? Forget about Brahmarshi. When Lord Ramachandra was moving from Ayodhya to Mithila, what he did? He became their spiritual master. And Lord served his feet. Can you imagine? If you don't give up, then what happens? Lord catches your feet. So if someone takes shelter at the lotus feet of a Lord, do you think that he will give you up? Not that easy. See, Krishna, he has a threefold bending form. First of all, to become Krishna conscious is very difficult. No one very easily takes up Krishna consciousness. How many of you are first time you are accepted? You had so many questions. You had so many arguments with devotees. Then you started taking up Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna, he never very easily enters your heart because he has having that threefold bending form. He never goes straight. He has his canny way to enter. And once he enters in your heart, then what happens? Do you think that very easily he will go away? Anything which is bent, if you put it in some round pot or anywhere, it's very difficult to pull it away. So Krishna is like that. Once you take up Krishna consciousness, you can't give it up. That's why he said, Chalam chaletam asmi. He is the cunning fellow. So you can't behave cunningly with him. He knows. Why? Because he is there in your heart, as he says here. That Lord is residing in your heart, so he can take away these desires in our heart. Because he is the one who resides in the heart. So he knows how much outwardly we make a show of so many things. But inwardly he knows better than us what is there. Huh? Ito narsimha parato narsimha yato yato yami tato narsimha. Bahir narsimha hridaya narsimha. He is there in your heart. He knows what sort of a material desires that we are grooming them, we are nurturing them. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj says, destroy them inside itself. Let not them manifest outwardly. And that's why he says, Randhaya, cut them out, all these knots. Karmashya, this Karmashya Granthi. Same word has used here. He says Karmashyam, and this is Karmashyam Gratitam Udgrayanti Santaha. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu also it is said that the definition of bhakti has given. See, this devotional service is a science. It has terminologies which has a definition which you can experiment and then you can apply it in your life. The spiritual science is just not a myth. The so-called people, these Britishers actually, they spoiled this word spirituality as a myth to put their stamp on that, just to show their superiority. And other peoples are like a foolish, they don't know anything. But spirituality is not just mythology. You can practice that, you can experiment with that, you can come to some conclusion, you can accept that, and you get the result. So here says that Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktiruttam. What is meant by devotion? People, they have their own definitions. Once in a day, they will, after bath, they will take one incense stick and they move around like a, how many times they, many other people, they don't know how many times you have to circumvent that. Huh? Nobody knows. Because nobody asks about that. Oh, my parents, they have done, so I'm doing it. But nobody does know about the real cause for that. Why dhupa only? Why deepa? See, these are the minimum standards that one can follow for the deity worship. If you does not have anything else to offer the Lord, it said that minimum, at least you should offer deepa. And that's why at least deepa we do. And dhupa we do because dhupa, the whatever the smoke that comes out of offering dhupa, that takes away all the negative energy, negative thoughts. If you go out of your house for, consider like a 2-3 days, and it is totally empty, vacant, then subtle bodies, they come and they reside, they occupy that space. To take them away, to take that negative energy out, you fill up that whole ether with this dhupa, the smoke that has offered to the Lord. That's the reason we offer it. Because that takes away, that enlives your mind. And that's why there are those particular things are mentioned. The dhupa should be made up of this, this, this. If you use those material, you will feel difference. Now they have the transcendental meditation with the smoke. Now they use that, what they call, opium. But that's not meant for the meditation. Google, agru, these are the transcendental herbs that can elevate your consciousness. That should be offered. So Krishna Anushilanam, which is favorable to Krishna. That you do it, then that is called as a bhakti. Not that yathopat tathomat, the way you want, you can do it. Huh? Some people, they ask, after bath only we have to do puja. What nonsense is that? The rituals, they have certain rules and regulations that need to be followed. So, without any abhilasha, abhilasha means material hankerings, desires. When you render service to the Lord without any material desire, jnana, karma, dhyana, vrata, giving up the so-called knowledge, so-called yoga, so-called karma, and when you accept the things which are favorable to increase your love for Krishna, that is called as a devotion. And if that is practiced, then what happens? Then Lord protects you. Definitely, He protects everyone, but samsara tantravahitvat. But for the reason of carrying out all these material activities, raksha apeksha yachate. He desires that you should pray Him for that particular reason. You should pray Him for the protection. Then He protects you. Then He interferes in your life. Otherwise, He says, go on. Ye yathamam prabhadyante. Our devotion to the Lord is like morning 7, evening 7. If possible, if have my turn, then only at 12 o'clock in the noon. Otherwise, I'm on my way, He is on His way. Do you think the same way He will reciprocate with you then? Do you think that Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that? No, his prayers are constant. And that's why in the next verse, it's very vital, very wonderful message that you can get it from this verse. Where there are certain things that he is asking from the Lord. And if you are engaged in the service of the Lord, then automatically you are going to get that. So what is the first thing that really all the devotees they desire for? Swastyastu vishwasya khala prasidatam dhyayantu bhutani shivam mithodhya मनश्च भद्रं भजता अधोक्षजे आवेशतां नो मतिरप्य अहैतुकी स्वस्त्यस्तु विश्वस्य. What devotee they ask for? The first thing, स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य, विश्व का कल्याण हो. Let there be well-being for everyone. So everyone means 8.4 million species of life, all living entities. It's not that only my community, my family, or my nation. Does it mean that? Swastistu, let there be well-being. And then khalaha prasidatam. Can you imagine what he's asking for? Khala means the person who creates troubles in others' life unnecessarily, and he takes pleasure in that. They are called as a khala, nefarious peoples. And Prabhupada says envious people. Khala, prasidata. He says they should get pacified. Can you imagine khala will get pacified in any way? In Niti Shastra, it is said that by chanting some particular mantras, you can control or pacify the sarpa, means snake. But to pacify khala, there is no way. And that's why he is asking it to the Lord. You can do it. Why? Because one of the name of the Lord is Aghatita Ghatana Patiyasi, the person who is expert in getting the things done which you can't think that they will get it, they will happen. And that's why he is asking to their Lordship. Swastistu Vishwasya Khala Prasidatam. Let these envious, nefarious people should get pacified. If they are pacified, automatically there will be peace in the society. If envious people will keep quiet, then everyone will be happy. Then he says, Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mithodhya. Dhyayantu Bhutani. Let all the people, they should meditate on your Lordship. Dhya, with Shivam Dhya. Shivam means auspicious. With auspicious intelligence, they should meditate on their Lordship. What is this auspicious intelligence means? In the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord explains to Arjuna why he is giving this knowledge. What he says?
You are my friend and your knowledge is
Asuya. You don't have envious nature towards anyone. You don't have a envy towards anyone. So the person who has a Shivam Dhya, means auspicious intelligence, he can't be envious of anyone. And only that person can meditate on the Lord. Shivam Mithodhiya. Then further he says, Manasya Bhadram Bhajata Adhokshaye. What is this Bhadram? Each and every Sanskrit word has its own meaning. Bhadram, you may call it as a auspicious, but real Bhadram means safe. Yeah, that is one of the meaning. But real Bhadram means the person who does not have malicious heart. If you are malic for someone in the heart, you can't render service with that person. Can you? It's not possible. You always try to find out some problem with this person. And do you think with that nature, are you going to serve their Lordship? With an offensive mentality, are you going to engage your mind in the service of the Lord? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his essays, he writes down, Vaishnava means adosha darshi. So who is adosha? Adosha means who does not have any fault, who does not have any contamination. And who is that? Their Lordship. So Vaishnavas, they always see the Lord, so that's why they are adosha darshi. If you find fault with someone, means you are finding fault with, because it's his creation. If I find some fault with your things that you may have, like your project or your submission that you have done, then whom I am finding a fault with? With you. So if we are finding a problem with someone or finding a fault with someone, means we are finding a fault with, then whom we are offending? That means we are thinking we are smarter than the Lord. And do you think that way he is going to give a shelter? But still he gives, because he is different. He is a Swarat. He is ready to do anything. Huh? He is feeding to atheists also. Who is feeding to that tabligis also, who are spreading that corona everywhere, all over the world. Huh? Nicely taking care of them also. And he's taking care of others also who are praying for protection also. In that way, he is Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. He is equal to everyone. And that's why he says, Raksha Apeksham Yachate. You need to ask for your protection. And that's why all these great devotees they are asking for. What he says further, Aveshatam no Matirapya Haituki. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of Supreme Transcendence, Lord Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. In the purport, Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavata Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free of envy. Paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays in this verse, Khalaha prasidatam. May all the envious person be pacified. The material world is full of envious person, but if one free himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and can think of others' welfare. When you think, then think anything in this world, first it comes in the form of thought. If you think good about someone, then something good is going to happen for him. If you think something bad about someone, the bad will happen first to you and then it will reflect in the other person. That's why it is said that the anger, all these malicious things, they first destroy you and then they destroy the object whom you are thinking about. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manascha bhadram bhajata adhokshaje. So if you want to be non-envious, then what do you have to do? Bhaja adhokshaje. Why he called this word adhokshaja? Prabhupada, he says, adhokshaja means adhakrita akshaja jnanaha. We have these blunt senses. Through these senses, you can't see their Lordship. Adhokrita akshaja jnana. You can see their Lordship with the transcendental senses. And when you start worshipping their Lordship, automatically your senses are going to get transcendental. That's what happens. Like Maharaj Yudhishthir, when he sees Vidurji, in the first canto there is a nice verse, I think 11th chapter. Bhavadvida Bhagavatas, Tirti Bhuta Swayam Vibhoho. तीर्थी कुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि स्वान्तास्तेन गदाभृता. I offer my obeisances to you, Bhavada Vida Bhagavatas. You're exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why is it so? Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Because you are the person Tirthi, a personification of Tirthi. Tirtha means a place where people they go and they get rid of their sins. They get washed of their sins. That's the potency of Tirtha, the holy place. He says, you are the person who, wherever you go, you create that place as a Tirtha. Why? Swanta Stena Gadabrata. Because you carry that Lord Gadabrata in your heart, that Lord Gadadhara in your heart. So wherever you go, Lord is always with you. And that becomes a Tirtha, that becomes a place of pilgrimage where people can take shelter of. And then he says, the person, if your heart is purified, ultimately you will go back, come back to God. Then few people they think, oh, if everyone stay Krishna consciousness, then they will go back. Then what will happen to this universe? There are some liberals, always, everywhere. In spirituality, in society, in politics, everywhere you get these liberals who have totally, what you can say, weird mindset. They will think about this world then. What will happen if everyone goes back home, back to God? And it is meant for that, so that everyone can go back. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, don't worry about that. Another set of fools will come and occupy this place. You don't have to worry about them. Lord will take care of them. You think of yourself and go back home. Huh? Don't think what will happen to this material world. In the next verse, text number 10, he's explaining about who can make rapid progress in Krishna consciousness. Who can do that? For whom it is possible. Most of the time, devotees they ask, oh, what we can do to make a really a good progress in spiritual life. What can be done? So please open your ears and hear carefully what Prahlad Maharaj says. One of the Bhagavata, one of the Mahajana, he is explaining what can be done to make a rapid progress in Krishna consciousness. He says, Magaradharatmajavittabandhushu Sango yadhi syat bhagavata priyeshu naha Yah pranavritya paritushta atmavan Siddhyatyaduran tathendriya priyaha. See, try to understand. If you want to remember this verse, try to understand the meanings of few words in this particular verse. That will make you very easy to really understand this verse. He says that Yah pranavritya paritushta atmavan. So what it means? Pranavritya means the profession that you accept for prana, to protect your life. Paritushta atma. Paritushta means who is happy, satisfied. The person who is satisfied with his work. Pranavritya paritushta atma means yad lava santushtaha, who does not have much hankerings. Simple living, high thinking. That person. Further, what he says, Siddhya atya aduran tathendriya priya. The person who can make rapid progress, the person who is yadlava santushtaha. Whatever he has got, he is happy with that. And who will not make, who is indriya priyaha. Indriya priya means who is attached to satisfy his senses. Achhi gali hai na? Intelligent people can think about that only. If you call someone else, you know that Indriya Priya hai. Nobody will come to know what you're saying unless and until he has some intelligence. Huh? Seems to be a nice one, Indriya Priya. Huh? But the real meaning of that Indriya Priya means who is attached for sense gratification. For him, Duran means for him, Krishna consciousness is like a Delhi abhi dur hai. It's far away from you. Huh? And prana vritya paritushtaya, but who is satisfied with whatever he has got it with, who does not have much hankering. See, same teachings he has given actually to his classmates, where he says that Sukham indriyakam daitya deha yogi na dehina yadvad labate saukhya tad dukha ayatnataha. If you got this body, according to this body, you are going to get the happiness and distress. So if you become excited because you got so much of happiness, that is not going to help you. And if you lament too much also, that is also not going to help you. Because deha yogina dehinam, you got it with your body. So as long as you have this body, you are going to get either suffering or happiness, which you are bound to get in this particular body. In that situation, if pranavritya paridushraya, if you are satisfied what you have with, then you can make a rapid progress. You will not endeavor extra then. There will be no prayers, there will be only shreyas, which is needful. And the person, if he is not attached to what? Agara. Agara means home, sweet home. Prabhupada translate it as a house. What is the difference between home and house?
Home with brick and mortar, home is with network.
So what he is saying about?
House.
He's saying agar. Agar is the place where you can get in abundance. Kara agar, Vidya agar, Dhana agar. So it is agar. The place where what you get? Dara. Dara means wife. Atmaja. If you have a wife, definitely you are going to have kids. With to maintain this house and family, what do you need? You need to have a vitta, dhana. Bandhushu. If you have a dhana, then what happens? You will get relatives. In Marathi we say, astil shiteta zamtil bhute. Means if you have a grains, people will come to eat at your place. Bhutas. Sango yadi syad bhagavat priyeshunah. If you are too attached to them, rather than getting attached to the Bhagavat Priyeshu. What is Bhagavat Priyeshu? So these two words that we should remember. You want to be a Bhagavat Priya or you want to be Indriya Priya? So if you want to be Bhagavat Priya, then you should be Pranavritya Paritushtaya. You should be satisfied with what you have got it with. You should not hanker. And if you want to be Indriya Priya, then you should be attached to Agara, Dara, Atmaja and Vitta and Bandhusha. So you have to decide what you want to be. So where we have to give that, what they call? Tick. It depends upon you. It's nice verse, no? If you want to make a progress in spiritual life, what will be the hurdle and what will be the easiest way that you can track on? Both has explained here. And that's why Prabhupada said that because we don't have that much intelligence to think about. So just read the prayers. because these are the experience of experienced people who has applied the spiritual life in their life and they have become successful. So this science is applied science. It's not just so-called today's science, which keeps changing every year, you know. Now there must be a new theory. Huh? I studied only 3 laws of Newton. I don't know, there are some new now or not. There must be, no? Somebody would have given some addition, subtraction for that.
Pluto is the planet, Pluto is not the planet.
Because it is depend upon the kshaja jnana. Kshaja means which is kshaya, which is going to get depleted. It's not akshaja jnana, which is beyond the senses. So the spiritual life that can be applied. And if someone takes that, if someone tracks on that path, then it's a tad aduran. For them, it's not far. दिल्ली दूर नहीं है फिर बस नजदीक ही है एक छलांग मारना है ना My dear Lord, we pray that we may never feel attraction for the prison of family life. That is what agara means. House. Huh? House means what? When devotee gets married, what he does? One of my senior god brother, he is still brahmachari. He used to say, when some brahmacharis gets married, then what he does? He never falls in the well, the dark, deep well of samsara. But what he does? He, with the rope, he gets down into that well. I'm one of that. Prison of family life, where you get shackled with so many attachments. And what are those attachments? The first attachment is wow. Second, if wife is there, then Atmaja, from whom, from you who are born. That is Atmaja. That is means kids. So that is second shackle. Then to maintain them, you need a third shackle. That is Vitta. सब ड्रामा कर सकते हैं लेकिन पैसे का ड्रामा नहीं कर सकते. हाँ? सब नाटक होता है लेकिन धन का नाटक नहीं कर सकते. So with and as soon as you have money with you, people are going to come to you. Bando show the social friends, family friends, huh? They are the other shackles which are going to bind you more in this prison. If we do have some attachment, let it be for devotees. Bhagavat Priyeshu. We should have attachment for the devotees. Whose only dear friend is Krishna. A person who is actually self-realized and who has controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with the bare necessities of life. So don't try to pretend unless and until you are Atmavan. Who can be Paritushta Pranavritya? Who is Atmavan? What is that Atmavan means? Dhana Vana. So Atma Vana. What is this Atma? Huh? Atma means completely purified. That is your real identity. So he says, who is Atmavan can become Pranavritya Paritushtaya. The person who is internally attached to their lordship, externally he is satisfied with the bare necessities of life. That need to be understood. It's good, no? Nice word. I think you can remember that.
That's right.
Yeah, you can. Actually, I was reading day before yesterday and I thought, that's such a treasure, you know. Very intense prayer, and that can relate with each other. All of us, we can relate ourselves with these prayers. That's the glory of prayers offered by Prahlad Maharaj, you know. Because he was from demonic family, but he was not a demon. We are. So this is what things that are going to bound us in this material world. And he's giving such a wonderful things that can take you out of that. And what he says, he does not try to gratify his senses. Who has controlled his mind and is perfectly satisfied. That person. Labdabdva chaparam yablabdva chaparam labham na manyate adhikam tata. This verse is from chapter 6. Text number from 11 to 14. It is one of them. Where he says, Yat labdhva chapa param labham na manyate adhikam tata. What that labdhva? Guruna api vichalyate. Guruna api vichalyate means that equilibrium of a mind, when you attain that, then you won't get disturbed. And such a such undisturbed person can become Atmavan. And he becomes Paritushriya. He becomes satisfied. What? Pranavritya. Whatever has come accord. Otherwise, people, they always hanker. Now I got a one house. Wife says, no, we should have a second one for the second child. भैंस पानी में और दूध के लिए झगड़ा. So this is what happens, you know. So he's clearly mentioning here that what are the things that we need to really understand. It's a practical point of view. Only a grahastha can speak about all this problem with the grahastha. What sannyasi will speak on this? Because they don't have experience of this life. Because वो बोलते हैं ना कि दूर के ढोल सुहावने, हाँ? उनको वैसे ही लगता है. Or sometimes they exaggerate because they have not gone through that. But person who has gone through that, only he can tell you, hey Baba, this is what, you know. Why they are shackled? Because he has experience. He knows all the noos and corners, how they can tie you up. You phone them and within a 10 minutes you have to be here. Huh? Otherwise you will be on fire. See, we are shackled. And Pranavritya Paritushna, that is most essential thing, because while staying in the today's modern society where there is a much of show off, people, they wanted to see what you can exhibit rather than what you are in essence. So if you want to make progress in spiritual life, so what do you work on? Outward, or you have to work on inward? So this is what we have to learn from these prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. He always speaks about the inner growth. Because he had a great experience in his life, you know. Whose son he was? Hiranyakashipu, the name itself. Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means bed. Who was totally engrossed in gold and bed. That's it. Totally engrossed in enjoyment. What modern people are. They work for the 5 days and 2 days they spend it in that Hiranya and bed. Huh? All are Hiranyakashipus now. But they don't have Prahlad. That's their problem. And that's why we need to read them. These prayers. They are so essential for us to understand. On our level. We can relate ourselves with this prayer. Then in the next verse, text number 11, he is explaining about why one should hear about the Lord from the devotees? I can read myself, but how much I can understand? I have an intelligence of 100 ml. So I will fill it if it will only 100 ml only. But if someone has a 1 liter, he is going to give 10 times more. Huh? He will going to increase the capacity of that. Someone has $100, he can give you 100. If someone has a 50, you can't expect 100 from him. Devotees has a deep understanding about the Lord, and when you hear about Lord from them, you are going to get a much better understanding than yourself. Make sense? He says, Yat sangalabdham nijavirya vaibhavam tirtham muhusam sprushatam himanasam haran haratyajo antah shrutibhirtuangajaha ko vai na seveta mukunda vikramam. By associating with a person for whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead Mukunda is the all in all, one can hear of his powerful activities and soon come to understand them. If you hear yourself, you will understand whatever understanding you have. But if you hear it from the person who is in love with the Lord, he is to elaborate that activities to you. See, if you really want to know who are you, you should ask your mother. Because she loves you, so she knows all the in and outs of you. So she will explain you in detail. Father may does not know about that much. But mother knows, because in front of her, we open up everything. We rip open our heart to our mother. Because she loves. So devotees, they love their Lordship so much that Lord reveals everything in their heart. And once everything is revealed in their heart, they make you understand it more than sometimes Lord himself. That's why Lord, he himself says in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think 25th chapter, text number also 25th. Satam prasangad mama virya samvedo bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kataha tad joshanat ashva apavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhaktir anupramishati. Satam prasangad mama virya samvidam. Same line is here. Yat sangalava nija virya vaibhavam. Who is this Yat sangalava labdhaha? The people who are in association with the Lord. What will happen? Nija virya vaibhavam. If you hear the glories of the Lord, you are going to understand them more widely than your own endeavor. Satam prasangad mama viryaramvido bhavanti rit karana rasayana kata. Because that activities of the Lord, they become like a elixir. Karana rasayana. That elixir which can enter through your ear and goes to your heart. And what happens then? Shraddha ratir bhakti anukramishati. That elixir, when it enters to your heart, then it cleanses your heart, and then Shraddha, the faith, Ratihi, attachment. That attachment which is a dense, and then Bhakti, then you get devotion to the Lord. When you hear it from the devotees of the Lord. Then he says, the activities of Mukunda are so potent that they simply by hearing of them, one immediately associates with the Lord. For a person who constantly and very eagerly hears the narrations of the Lord's powerful activities, the absolute truth, the personality of a Godhead, in the form of a sound vibrations, enters within his heart and cleanses it of all contaminations. On the other hand, although bathing in the Ganges diminishes bodily contaminations and infections, this process and the process of visiting holy place can cleanse the heart only after a long time. Therefore, who is the sane man who will not associate with the devotees too quickly perfect his life? Lord Shiva, he is explaining to Prachetas. He says the glory is about. What he says? Tulyan laveen api. Even a fraction of moment, if you have association of whom? Bhagavata Sangi Sangasya, who are associated with the Lord. Who can associate with the Lord? Who can always hear about the Lord. That's what Prahlad Maharaj here says. So if you associate with the Lord, Bhagavata Sangi Sangasya, Martyanam Kim Utashisham. He says the topmost benediction for them is to associate with such a devotees. So that's what he is speaking about. Because when you hear it from the Lord's devotees, then what is the effect of that? As explained in the second chapter of first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Shunvatam Swakata Shunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayanto Asya Abhadrani Vidunoti Surat Satam. It gets washed off. Surut Satam, and he becomes purified. Satam means who is always with the Lord. And then he says the wonderful qualities of devotees. What is meant by devotee? Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunaistatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manorathena satidavato vahi. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in the material activities has no good qualities, even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives. He must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So, just because in the age of Kali, what happens? The main quality is that they say that Purushartha means Kutumba Bharanenava. Just to take care of a family, maintain family nicely. That is the real purpose of being a human being. That's what the symptom of age of Akali. So he says that's not the perfect thing. Because you are not engaged in the service of the God, so you are engaged in the service of this material world. And if you may be exhibiting very social and wonderful qualities, but he says, Kuto Mahad Gunad, what's the use of that qualities if you are not a devotee of the Lord? And if you are a devotee of the Lord, then what is going to happen? Samasate Sarvair Gunaha. You will possess all the good qualities of whom? Demigods. But he has a clause, huh? What is that? Bhakti akinchana. Kinchana means something. Something of everything. So if you have that something in your heart of this material world, then what's going to happen? You are not going to have devotional service. You will have that something. So he says that Bhagavati Bhakti Akinchana, the devotion for the Lord, which is Akinchana, bereft of any material desire. And then he gives a result of if someone is attached for this material world, what happens with that? He says, Hari hi sakshad bhagavan sharirinam atma zashanam ivato yamispitam hitva mahastal yadi sajjate grihe tada mahatvam vayasadam patina. Just as aquatics always desire to remain in the vast mass of water, all conditioned living entities naturally desire to remain in the vast existence of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, if someone very great by material calculation fails to take shelter of a Supreme Soul, but instead becomes attached to material household life, his greatness is like that of a young, low-class couple. One who is too attached to material life loses all good spiritual qualities. So here he has given the result of too much attachment for material life. What will happen? Because naturally the nature of this material world is that to sink down. Everything here goes down. So if you want to keep it up, you want to take it up, then you have to keep constantly practicing. And then in the last verse, he gives in the text 14 a final advice. He says, Tasmad rajoraga vishadamanyo manas pruha bhayadainyadhimulam hitva griham samsriti chakravalam nrusimhapadam bhajata kuto bhayam iti. Therefore, O demons, give up the so-called happiness of a family life and simply take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Narasimhadev, which are the actual shelter of all of fearlessness. Entanglement in the family life is the root cause of material attachment. Indefatigable desires, moroseness, anger, despair, fear, and the desires for a false prestige, all of which result in the repetition of birth and death. So here he is giving the list of the things that we need to work upon. We think that, oh, for last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I'm in Krishna consciousness, I'm practicing. But what about this, which has mentioned here? Are we looked upon them? Have we taken care of this thing? Nicely has explained. First thing is attachment for family life. Second thing, it causes what? If you are materially attached, then you have to endeavor. If you endeavor, then what happens? You get fatigue. Then desires, does they have any end? You may count the waves of ocean, but can you count the desires that you have in your mind? Can't. Then moroseness. If what he has discussed previously, if your heart is not a bhadram, mana bhadraste, if your heart is not bhadram, then this moroseness you are going to get it. Because you will be not happy by seeing someone's progress. Then the next thing, if you are not happy with someone's progress, then it's going to give you anger. Because anger means what? When your desires are not fulfilled, That's what the frustration comes out, and that comes in the form of anger. That's why Krodha is known as a Kamanuja. Anuja means who has born after. Born after what? Kama, desires. So if desires are not fulfilled, you are going to get morose and you are going to get angry. And once you are angry, it burns you first and then it burns others. That's what happened. Like BP shoots up immediately if someone gets angry. That's what you're burning yourself first. And then what he says, then you become despair, desperate actually. And then fear. That krodha results into what? Bhaya. You do certain activities under the influence of anger, and that creates the bhaya. And everyone, they need to have their place, prestige, whatever position they may have. They forgot that once they were Brahma. Can you imagine? I was a Brahma. And now what I am? I was a controller of the whole universe. I was the person who was giving bodies to the living entities according to their karma. I was that. And who am I now? Controlled by some woman who is my wife, controlled by my daughter, controlled by so many people in the world. And still, I think I'm a prestigious person. I need to maintain my position. Because he says all these are result in repetition of cycle of birth and death. So this is the final advice. He says, take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, because this is what going to help you out. प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्री नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you so much.